book series, like 10 out of 10 for me. It satisfied all of my bookish needs, and I literally could not ask for anything more, anything different. I thought that this was the perfect ending to a perfect series. So, if you're into settlers on a new planet, going to war with the native species while going to war with each other, just humans being humans, being the worst of humanity and also the best of humanity, and also love, but not overdone love. It was more insinuated, and yeah, there just like wasn't like making out. There wasn't sex every 5 seconds. None of that. It was just like them going through it together and just realizing they're stronger together, better together. And yeah, I loved this book series. At first I was hesitant to read this book because I was not sure about how, okay, so on this planet, all men can hear each other's thoughts. There's only men in this settlement, and they can all hear each other's thoughts, and they can also talk to animals, and I thought that that was super weird, but it actually wasn't. The main character, Todd, he has a dog, Manchi, and I actually loved his relationship with the dog. And also, I was getting a little wary of Viola. I have my cousin's baby's name is Violet. Viola was getting on my nerves a little bit in this book, and that made me worried, but I love her, and I loved the ending. She kind of reminded me of Teresa in The Maze Runner. I was like iffy of Teresa in the first book, and then I did not like her in the second. I didn't like her up until the end, and I fell in love with her, and I realized how important she was and how much she sacrificed. She was so selfless, and then they took her from me. And I did recently, and I regret it. I knew it was going to suck. I watched the third Maze Runner movie. It was terrible, and it like basically insinuated that Teresa like killed herself, like she let herself collapse with the building. They did her such an injustice. The movie was terrible. The books are fantastic. I love the Maze Runner series. Okay, but anyway, yeah, this book series, top favorite of all time. I love it. I really want one of my younger brothers to read it. He said he doesn't want to, so I think I'm going to buy him the book series and just tell him, like, look, I bought you the box set, now you have to read it. Dressed in Blood. I want to call her Anna. Yeah, same author, so Anna Dressed in Blood. Let me read you the summary. Spoiler alert, didn't like the book. Didn't like it. I'm shocked. This has to be one of her earlier books because the character development in this book lacked so damn much. But the character development in the Three Dark Crown series, top notch. So this had to have been one of her earlier books. Okay, just your average boy meets girl, girl kills people story. Cass Lowood has inherited an unusual vocation. He kills the dead. So did his father before him, until his gruesome murder by a ghost he sought to kill. Now, armed with his father's mysterious and deadly athame, Cash travels the country with his kitchen witch mother and their spirit-sniffing cat. Together they follow legends and local lore, trying to keep up with the murderous dead, keeping pesky things like the future and friends at bay. When they arrive in a new town in search of a ghost, the locals called Anna Dressed in Blood, Cass doesn't expect anything outside of the ordinary. Track, hunt, kill. What he finds instead is a girl entangled in curses and rage, a ghost like he's never faced before. She still wears the dress she wore on the day of her brutal murder in 1958, once white but now stained red and dripping blood. Since her death, Anna has killed any and every person who has dared to step foot into the deserted Victorian she used to call home. And she, for whatever reason, spares his life. So on the front of this, another thing that attracted me to this book was, it says spellbinding and romantic. Apparently Cassandra Clare said that. I feel like Cassandra Clare owed somebody a favor because this was neither spellbinding nor romantic. I don't know where the fuck the romance came in at. There was no romance. He fell in love with this chick like after one conversation. Like literally, it was so weird. They had like two interactions by themselves. The other times they saw each other, they were with people. There was no reason he should have fell in love with Anna. It was super weird. She really didn't tell him much about herself, besides the fact that there were a lot of things she wanted to do in life. That was it. And then he knew how she died. They didn't talk about, hobbies or her favorite color or, if she wanted children or, like anything, I did like Cass. There were some other characters that got on my nerves. I loved his friend Thomas. I loved his mom. I loved his cat. The story was very descriptive. She's always so good at being gross. She's good at horror writing. But this book just did not do it for me. It didn't do it for me. Yeah, and I also spoiled myself on the second book, and it had really terrible reviews and people who even actually enjoyed this book, which I don't know how, but the people that did enjoy this book said that the second book was really bad. So I am definitely not going to be picking up the second book. So yeah, I actually do not recommend this book. I absolutely recommend her Three Dark Crown series, but Anna Dressed in Blood, I do not. It was terrible. I don't know how they fell in love. It was just super, super weird. So I'm going to put that off to the side. I need to get something to drink because I cannot whisper anymore. My throat is so dry. Cass also had to mention constantly how he is the only one who can do the ghost hunting and how he, this is what he does and he does it alone. And he he's supposed to be lonely. He does everything alone. But coincidentally ends up attracting all these people, all these friends. It was just obnoxious. Anyway. Okay. I did not want to review this book next. Okay. So the next book is The Unbecoming of Dyer by Hodkin. So I had heard a lot of mixed reviews about this, and the last review that I had watched on this book, I should have known not to read it, but I was like, people won't shut up about this book whether it's great or it's bad, so let me read it. And I have never regretted reading a book in my entire life like I've regretted reading this book. This book was all over the place and not in a good way. So let me read you the summary first. You wake up with no memory of the last few days. Your friends were killed in an accident that you miraculously survived. Your family has moved to another state to escape the fallout. You meet a mysterious boy who seems to know more about your past than you do. You start seeing things that can't possibly be there. You are afraid you are losing your mind. Can you keep it together? Dyer is about to find out. Okay, so I am about to give spoilers. I don't know how to not give spoilers for this book because I hate it, and I just don't care to beat around the bush, so I'm going to give spoilers. So first off, I wish that I had went into this book knowing that it was going to be supernatural. I went into this book thinking that she had actually been in an accident, and we really were just seeing the mental side effects of that. But no, it does get supernatural. She can literally kill people just by thinking about their death. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, and okay, so let me tell you what I loved about this book. The only thing that I loved about this book was the family dynamic. Her brothers were fantastic. Her parents were fantastic. I literally loved her family. I love this family. It was written perfectly. The mother, the dad, and the two brothers, they were great. Okay, so I had a whole lot to say about this book, and it just like completely just slipped me. I literally had to take Tylenol after finishing this book because it was that bad. It gave me a literal headache. So yeah, she does start to figure out that with the boyfriend, I forgot his name. Literally, oh my god, what is his fucking name? Noah. Okay, so with the love interest, they do not quickly, gosh, it takes a minute for them to realize that they do have these abilities. He has the ability to heal people. And so at the end of the book, she's going to the police station to turn herself in. I don't know. I guess she figured she could tell the cops that she has this ability to kill people using her thoughts. Well, she ends up seeing one of the friends, it was technically her boyfriend, who died in, oh my god, I'm explaining this so bad. Okay, so they were in an old building when it collapsed. It was her boyfriend, and two friends. One of them she didn't like. It was her friend's friend. So it collapsed, and they all died except for her, but apparently they did not. So she sees the ex-boyfriend who assaulted her, and that's how the building collapsed. As he was assaulting her, she went, crazy and thought about them all dying or something, and that's the building collapsed and supposedly was supposed to kill them, but didn't. So I guess her ability doesn't always work. But yeah, so she sees him, and then she has a mental breakdown, and then at the end of the book, she's in a mental institution. So I was not going to read the second book, so I looked up what the second book was about, and I gathered that the second book I think that was the turtle. That damn thing scares me when it jumps off its fucking rock. So the second book, I guess, mostly takes place in a mental institution where crazy Carrie shit happens, and apparently a couple questions from the first book are answered. There's so many questions, like they're like you're just left so confused, like so in the dark, and it's unsettling, and it's just not good. It's not the confused you want to be. This book was just mental and not in a good way. And so yeah, that was basically the second book, is her in a mental institution, all this crazy shit's going on. So in the third book is when shit gets real fucking crazy, and I definitely could not read that fucking book. So apparently there is Mara Dyer's mysterious grandma, like really, that just happens to show up in the third book. Also, there apparently was this nurse who kept having miscarriages. She really wanted to have a baby, but she couldn't have a baby full term. And so she ends up doing experiments on kids, and I guess Mara was one of the kids, and her boyfriend Noah, his dad is involved. There's a resurrection. Yeah, there's a resurrection in this book. I think they tried some Romeo and Juliet shit on a supernatural level. So, yeah. I regret reading this book. I really regret reading this fucking book. I wish I did not read it. I do not recommend it because it's fucking nuts, and not in a good way. Like, it literally just, like, makes you... I don't know. It's just a terrible book, and it gets fucking crazier and crazier, and weirder, and I just don't believe all questions are answered because there are too many questions, and overall, it's just a book that just leaves you with a really not happy feeling. Let's move along. God. Do you want to hear another book I don't like? Okay, let's just get it the fuck over with. Okay, this book, I regret reading it. This book is called Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma. Okay. So, this is the summary. Love knows no bounds. Loken and Maya have always felt more like friends than siblings. Together, they have stepped in for their unreliable alcoholic mother to take care of their 3 younger siblings. The stress of their lives and the way they understand each other so completely has brought them closer than 2 siblings would ordinarily be. So close that they have fallen in love. Loken and Maya know their relationship is wrong and cannot possibly continue, and yet they are powerless to stop what feels so incredibly right. So I initially wanted to read this book because it reminded me of Flowers in the Attic. There's also a Lifetime movie, if you've seen it. It's really good. It's really dark and, of course, unsettling, siblings falling in love. So what I loved about Flowers in the Attic, okay, this was not believable. She just really wanted to write a taboo story, and she just did not get it. Flowers in the Attic, the 2 siblings, I mean, they were all held hostage, all 4 siblings, and the 2 older ones, it's unfortunate, but I feel like they did not technically fall in love. I think as the oldest brother got older and older, he started getting feelings, and they were confusing, and I think what was insinuated was he basically, assaulted his sister, and his sister just kind of like went along with it, because what else do you do, I guess, when it's literally just all of you trapped in an attic by yourselves. And I think it was just like that horror and that isolation and confusion and fucked uppery that just made them 2 come together. Their mother is absent. Their mother is an alcoholic, but she is there for them. She gives them money. She takes the younger kids out. she picks them up from school or she takes them to school. Not always. Sometimes she's obviously unreliable, but she is there. So the fact that they end up falling in love just it wasn't there. It didn't make sense. It's not believable. Like, it takes a lot, I feel like, for you to fall in love with your sibling than just like parental abandonment. So, like, in my childhood specifically, it was really just me and my brother, like, just me and my brother. It's like my ride or die, but no, like, it was just me and him when we were younger, like, literally. And that's another thing that they justified falling in love, is that it was just like always the two of them. And then, you know, when our other younger brother came around, me and him took care of our other brother all the time by ourselves. I remember there was one night, my mom and her boyfriend went on a little vacation or something, and we offered to watch our youngest brother while they went and did that. And we made such a great time out of it. We rented a movie, we made popcorn, we chilled, we took care of our brother. It was fun, you know? Like, this doesn't happen. They go to school, you know. Maya, she has friends, she's pretty popular, you know, a good-looking dude wants her. I don't understand why she fell in love with her brother. I don't. This book is freaking weird. Don't read it. It's freaking weird. Like, not even like Cersei and Jamie. Like, no. Like, she shouldn't have wrote that book. She didn't know what she was doing. Okay, the next book, my daughter ripped the cover off. I'm sorry if you can hear my gulping. I hate when people gulp, but with ASMR, I feel like it's so hard to avoid it. My boyfriend hates my gulping. I gulp really loud. I don't know if I have a small throat or if I take in too much air or what, but like, I have just always been a loud gulper. I'm so self-conscious about it, but I can't not gulp, okay? Okay, so this is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Didn't like it. Look, dollar store version of The Hunger Games. If The Hunger Games wasn't written, this book wouldn't exist. Let me read you the summary. Mayor Barrow's world is divided by blood. Those with red and those with silver. Mayor and her family are lowly reds, destined to serve the silver elite whose supernatural abilities make them nearly gods. Mayor steals what she can to help her family survive, but a twist of fate leaves her to the royal palace itself, where, in front of the king and all of his nobles, she discovers an ability she didn't know she had, except her blood is red. To hide this impossibility, the king forces her into a role of a lost silver princess and betroths her to one of his sons. As Mare is drawn further into the silver world, her actions put into motion a deadly and violent dance, pitting prince against prince and Mare against her own heart. Okay. So, hello everyone. So, this is like a couple weeks later. My daughter ended up waking up. She's actually taking a nap again right next to me, so I'm sorry if you can hear her snoring. I was expecting her to sleep longer. That's why I thought I could attempt to make that video, but unfortunately, she did wake up. She was sick, so I'm really not surprised she ended up waking up, but here we are going to finish this. Okay, so I put the books away that I had, but I know I was on Red Queen, so I don't remember what the town is called that Mare lives in. I don't remember. I don't even care to look it up. It was just so But if you didn't have a talent like Mare's little sister, yeah, she has a sister too. She has a Brim. Her little sister is really good at sewing, so she makes all of these beautiful outfits for the Silvers. But Mare doesn't, have a talent or anything, so she is going to get drafted into the war, like her brothers. And there's also her guy BFF who ends up getting drafted or sent over, whatever, who is basically Gale. But anyway, she was like, the way she talked about him was like, I'm not in love with him, I don't like him, but we're definitely gonna get married, because who else would we get married to? And I thought that was just so weird. I just don't like her personality. And then one night, after some chaos happens, she runs into one of the princes, but of course she doesn't know it's the prince. His name is Cal. He is the oldest, so he is going to be king. I am also coming off of being sick. If you can hear it, I'm so sorry. And I know some of you are like, weren't you just sick a couple months ago and then a couple months before that? I need to stay away from nasty motherfuckers. I'm telling you, like, ever since I started, I hate saying it, hanging around my family more, I've just been getting sicker. I don't know what's going on. I'm so tired of getting sick. Anyway, so, of course, I think it's very obvious, I'm going to be saying some spoilers, that she ends up falling in love with Cal. I was not surprised when she did. However, there was no reason for her to. I don't understand how she ended up liking him. She ended up getting betrothed to his younger brother, Maven, and she did start, like, having feelings for him. She did start caring for him. Obviously not as strong as Cal. But with Maven, I totally understood why she was falling for him. And I kind of wish she just, like, stuck with that. Like, their romance was super duper cute. It was also super duper cute to see Maven fall for her as well. Like, he was so, like, obviously put off when he got betrothed to her. He was like, I wanted to choose my wife, reasonably. But he was like, I am Prince. Like, this is my duty. This is just what I gotta do, whatever. So he was going along with it. He was never mean to her, anything like that. And then he did start to have feelings for her, and that part was super, super cute to me. I really liked Maven. I really liked his character. And there was a whole rebellion. There was a scene in here where she was trying to fight Cal's future wife. I think her name's Evangeline. Is that how you say that name? I've never been able to say that name. Evangeline. I don't know. But she ended up, like, not kicking her ass, and it disappointed me so much. I wanted her, like, I would have gotten over a lot of this book. It was like that one scene that I was like, please beat the fuck out of her, and she did not, and it just, like, it really disappointed me. Like, it just took me even further out of the book. I just really, really did not care for this book. I did not connect with this book. I'm so freaking shocked that it has so many good reviews. I think maybe if I had read this book in high school, I would love it. Or maybe if I never read The Hunger Games, I would absolutely love it. But I didn't like it. Didn't like it. Let's move on to the next book.
this, and it is The Housemaid. I know this book is super popular, and ASMR for Everyone raved about it multiple times, and I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. This book was so freaking good. I loved it. I could not put it down. I read it super quick, and I don't read books quick anymore with just having my daughter. I just have to focus on her so much that I don't get to read that much. But I went through this so quick. I'm so excited to pick up the second book. Okay, let me read the summary, even though I'm sure a lot of you have probably already read it or know about it. Okay. Every day I clean the Winchesters' beautiful house, top to bottom. I pick up their daughter from school, and I cook a delicious meal for the whole family before heading up to eat alone in my tiny room on the top floor. I try to ignore how Nina makes a mess just to watch me clean it up, how she tells strange lies about her own daughter, and how her husband, Andrew, seems more broken every day. But as I look into Andrew's handsome brown eyes, so full of pain, it's hard not to imagine what it would be like to live in Nina's life. The walk-in closet, the fancy car, the perfect husband. I try on one of Nina's pristine white dresses once, just to see what it's like, but soon she finds out, and by the time I realize my attic bedroom door only locks from the outside, it's far too late. But I reassure myself, the Winchesters don't know who I really am. They don't know what I'm capable of. So at first, I thought I knew where this book was going, but then it blew my mind, and I'm about to give some spoilers if you haven't read this book yet. So, when we finally got to Nina's part, I was like, first off, kind of put off because I did not know that we were going to get Nina's perspective. But once I started following Nina's story, I was like, she was really grooming. I literally forgot her name. Millie. The housemaid's name is Millie. Grooming Millie to fit into Andrew's life, to be Andrew's new wife. Her constantly saying you have to be so aware of messes and being perfect, and even the way her mother-in-law, Andrew's mother, talks to her. She was talking to Millie like that. She was really grooming her to be his new wife and to be okay with all of his bullshit. And it wasn't till towards the ending I did start to realize, I'm like, okay, it's actually going to be Andrew who's the crazy one, not Nina. But there was just so much in this book that shocked me, and I absolutely loved it. I'm so happy that I finally got this book. I will be getting the next book, and I will be getting more of her books. I know ASMR for Everyone just recently talked about her book called The Crash, so I'm going to be picking up more of her books. This was just so freaking good. It was so good, and it was such a change from the books that I've been reading, and I'm just so happy that I got a book that I enjoyed. So this next book is Closer to Nowhere by Ellen Hopkins. I adore Ellen Hopkins. This is around the 15th book of hers that I have read, and I have never, ever been disappointed by a book of hers before. This book is the first book she's written for middle school readers, which I think is so awesome. I really hope she does make more books for middle grade. All her other books are so so real, they're so raw, they're so heartbreaking, and I just love them. I literally adore her writing, and she writes like in this style, so it's super easy to write or read. I love her books. I've been reading her since middle school. But let me read the summary. Hannah and Calvin might be family, but Hannah wishes they weren't. Her cousin Cal, another Cal, is a teller of half-truths and tall tales who brings Hannah constantly, and he seems to be the reason her parents have been fighting more and more. Hannah's mom tells her that she has to be patient with Cal, that after his mom died and his dad went to jail, Cal needs them, but Cal moving in has turned Hannah's world upside down. And Cal, he just wants to fit in and finally feel safe, but it's tricky. He can't always control his reactions. He has frequent meltdowns, and telling the truth about the past feels risky. He also misses his mother desperately and worries about the looming threat of his father taking him away from the first real home he's ever had. As tensions build, both at home and at school, the two cousins will have to find a way to give the other a second chance and to hear each other out if they want to heal their family scars. This book was fantastic. It was so cute. I love it. It was just so nice. I really loved all the characters. Cal, Hannah, I totally understood them both. Even the parents. This was just such a super duper cute read. It's one of these books that I can't wait for my daughter to like start to get old enough to like 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, so I can start sharing books like this with her. I'm just so excited for that. I hope she likes to read. She might not. She is. I don't even know if any of my DNA is in her. She is so much like her dad. She looks just like her dad. She acts like her dad. Like, I literally question if she's my child. I saw her come out of me, but I don't know if she's my child. Okay, so now we are going, I have 4 books that I have not yet read. Fourth Wing, finally, all of y'all can shut the hell up about this book. I finally got it, okay? Now I'm gonna read the summary. I keep having to stop to take drinks. My throat is so damn dry. And I keep wanting to cough. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna say some of these names correctly, but here we go. Y'all know I can't talk. 20-year-old Violet Soren Gale was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now the commanding general, also known as her toughest talent's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Aveyard dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Zayden Rorson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Pass this is as fabulous as everyone raves that it is. Because Lord knows I need some more good books to read, because some of these books, like, literally, there's rot in my brain. This next book, I believe you pronounce it Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi. By Patel. I know Patel from Harry Potter, you know. There's the Patel sisters, right? Okay. Now, let's see if I can read this without butchering. I'm so bad at pronouncing shit. Like, I was raised by people who don't know how to talk. Okay. I was born on the full moon under an auspicious constellation, the holiest of positions. Much good it did me. So begins Kaikeyi's story, the only daughter of the kingdom of Kaikeyi. She is raised on tales of the gods, how they churned the vast ocean to obtain the nectar of immortality, how they vanquish evil and ensure the land of Barat, prospers, and how they offer powerful boons to the worthy. Yet she watches as her father unceremoniously banishes her mother, listens to her own worth, is reduced to the marriage alliance she can secure, and when she calls upon the gods for help, they never seem to hear. Desperate for independence, she turns to the text she once read with her mother and discovers a magic that is hers alone. With it, Kaikeyi transfers herself from an overlooked princess into a warrior, a diplomat, and the most favored queen. But as the evil from her childhood stories threatens the cosmic order, the path she has forged clashes with the destiny the gods have chosen for her family, and Kaikeyi must decide if resistance is worth the destruction it will wreak, and what legacy she intends to leave behind. I think this sounds super duper good. We'll see. By the way, I read the summary. It's a shock I can read it all. I'm so sorry about that. I'm really bad at pronouncing shit. And I've also been so into retellings of certain, stories. A couple months ago, I read Ariadne by, crap, who is it? Is it Madeline Miller? Or is that who wrote Circe? I loved Circe. If you loved Circe and you haven't read Ariadne yet, you need to. It is so good. It was heartbreaking though. It was so sad, but it was so beautiful. I have to read more of her books. Let me find it. It's by Jennifer Saint. Madeline Miller. What are you doing? Madeline Miller is who wrote Circe. So, yeah, Jennifer Saint. I definitely want to read a couple more of her books. Also, Madeline Miller. There was also another author whose books I was like, all the more retellings, the better. Okay, so one more book, or two more books. This one is called The Troop by Nick Cutter. This was kind of just, I saw it and I'm like, let's just do it. It sounds good. Once a year, Scoutmaster Tim Riggs leads a group of boys into the Canadian wilderness for a weekend camping trip. A tradition has survival with no escape from the elements, the infected, or one another. So I've been wanting to read some scary stories like this. There are a couple on my list that I wish that I grabbed. I want to read Don't Let in the Cold or something like that. I'm pretty sure ASMR for Everyone recommended that one, and then Stolen Tongues. Silverfish ASMR recommended that one, and that's been on my TBR for like months, probably since Halloween. I never get the books I say I'm gonna get next, and then the final book is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. So I'm pretty sure I've read a book of hers before, and I absolutely hated it. I could not finish it. I'm pretty sure it was her. It was either her or, I don't know how you say her name. It's like Saba Dyer, and it was not An Ember in the Ashes. I actually did enjoy An Ember in the Ashes. I hated the second book though. But if I'm going to be completely honest, I wanted this book because of the cover. I mean, it's beautiful. You can't tell in this lighting, but this book is just stunning. So I had to have it. The second book is even more stunning. I love the blue, so gosh, I'm praying that this book is good and that I love it and that it wasn't one of her books that I previously read. I cannot for the life of me remember what book it was. I just remember it was like an author that was super hyped up like her. And I hated it, and everyone was obsessed with that book, and I hated it. And this is a big boy. I'm not scared of a big book. No, I'm not. Okay, so Bound by Blood, Tempted by Desire, Unleashed by Destiny, half fae, half human, Bryce Quinlan loves her life. Every night is a party, and Bryce is going to save her all the pleasures Lunatheon, also known as Crescent City, has to offer. But then a brutal murder shakes the very foundation of the city, and Bryce's world comes crashing down. So close up. 2 years later, Bryce still haunts the city's most notorious nightclubs, seeking only oblivion now and trying to put the past behind her. And when the murderer attacks again and an infamous fallen angel, Hunt Athlathar is assigned to watch her every footstep, Bryce knows she can't forget any longer. As Bryce and Hunt fight to unravel the mystery, the threads they tug ripple through the underbelly of the city, across warring continents, and the down. Let me start over. As Bryce and Hunt fight to unravel the mystery, the threads they tug ripple through the underbelly of the city, across warring continents, and down to the deepest levels of hell, where things have been sleeping for a millennia are beginning to stir. I don't know. It sounds, I'm either gonna love it or I'm gonna hate it. I know that. The cover alone was enough for me to get it. I want it on my bookshelf, so good enough for me. So yeah, that's all that I have for you. I'm so sorry that I'm super scatterbrained. I do not get a lot of sleep. And I'm very stressed out. I'm also like hideous. I don't wear makeup anymore. I don't have time for makeup. I got bags under my eyes. I've put on weight. I've tried to lose weight though. I got some workout equipment and I'm eating better. I'm not mad at myself for gaining weight. I've gone through so much the past couple years. You know, of course I gained weight. What else was I supposed to do in my depression and, you know, just trying to figure out life and how stutter as much.